Claus Jensen, I believe he's in the council chamber, and then that'll be followed by Judy Chalmers and Duncan Pierce, both via telephone. Mr. Jensen, if you could just give me one moment to unmute you. All right, go ahead, please, sir.
Hi, Mayor and Council. Thank you for being here and working late tonight. This is way past my bedtime. My name is Claus Jensen, and I lived in West Vancouver for more than 51 years. I lived at 1020 King George's Way for 43 years. I was here when there were only 2 traffic lights in West Vancouver. I went to Hillside, West Vancouver Secondary, and during high school, I delivered the Vancouver province between 27th Street and 24th Street along Nelson, Mathers, and Kings Avenue. And I watched the very first high-density structure, the C-Strand, being built in 1981. My wife, Heather, and I have been married for almost 50 years. Heather raised our 4 children with a tiny bit of help from me. Heather was the parade marshal of West Vancouver Community Day for about 10 years. I was a grunt who helped with parking, directions, and placing signs. Heather was also president of West Vancouver Little League and on the board of West Van Minor Hockey for many years. You might say we have a history of fond memories. We certainly consider ourselves blessed to have lived in West Vancouver. When we purchased our house, we went all in and took on debt that no sane person should have, could have, or would have done. And the interest rate was only 7%, and it went to 14%. We regularly ate at our parents' and did our grocery shopping from their pantry, freezer, and fridge. We did our laundry in their washer and dryer while we ate our free dinner. I am at this public hearing representing the West Vancouver community stakeholders and not my personal views. Indeed, I am here representing 27,997 eligible West Van municipal voters who oppose the additional floors at Park Royal Gateway. That is 27,997 West Van residents, most of whom will be eligible to vote in the next election. I am also representing here 444 West Vancouver residents who took a recent survey that enabled me to come to the conclusion that at least 91% of all West Vancouver voters, that's 27,997 people, oppose the Gateway application for additional floors and additional people. I do not know why they oppose. I have no clue whatsoever. We simply asked whether they were in favor or against, and it could be they're concerned about the environment. It could be they don't like the looks of the building. I don't know, but at least somebody has asked many, many people. Samples of 3 and 4 and 5 speakers that we've had is, I'm afraid, not statistical. At least when I took statistics, it wasn't a valid sample. So I was pretty excited and yet sad that this many people opposed Gateway. I am sad because clearly this council does not seem to have the pulse of West Vancouver's voters. When you proceed to promote and entertain an idea of changing a recently approved permit to add these additional floors, I believe the big selling feature was the developer would give an additional $10 million towards the CACs, and some of the most additional units would be rentals, at least for a few years. For some of you, I assume it was too much money to pass up, and others, possibly the word rental seduced you. I am sorry to say that I am also very naive about local politics. I had this vision of our council being a group of people who took their marching orders from West Van residents. I was also naive about the statutory obligations that elected council members have in BC. My education started after I read one of Councillor Cameron's Twitter rants about public hearing, what public hearing represents, and some of the.
Madam Mayor, I don't believe I am required to take abuse from Mr. Jensen.
Yes.
If he can't remain civil, then I would ask that you
Yes.
remind him to remain civil. And if he can't
Yes.
meet that and take it away from the personal, then I would ask him to conclude his comments.
Yes, Mr. Jensen, please keep your comments to the the facts and don't comment on the motivations or the personality or the character of anyone, including a council member. Thank you.
I should do that, but if he had let me finish, he would hear me said this. Council members, actually a pretty concise description by Councillor Cameron that included the statement that public hearings are not a referendum of the voters of West Van. I was shocked at that statement, and I sought an independent legal opinion which pretty well supported Councillor Cameron's view of public hearings. So I have concluded that West Van residents elect councils for a 4-year dictatorship because you in your role of being a West Van councillor can vote as you please, irrespective of community wishes or inputs. There is no statutory or legal framework requirement for you to justify your vote. I've also
So, Mr. Jensen, thank you. That was 5 minutes.